Hey, what's up guys? Today I just want to do a quick video kind of discussing my thoughts on the new 2018 Socom and actually why I do not like it. I will not be buying one of these. This is a customer knife, and actually this is too, even though I have a mini on its way. After handling this I fell in love. Found a cool camo, urban camo one. Anyway, that's beside the point. We are going to be specifically talking about the two different blade shapes between these. Now, a little ground rules. These are different sizes. This is the mini Socom, and this is a large Socom, of course. However, this is the same blade shape that appears on the 2011, the 2012 Socoms that are the same size as this one right here. So I'm just gonna, this is all that I have available to me, and so that's what I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna try to work my way around the size difference and kind of explain how my points still stand, if that makes sense. So as you can see, this is a 2018 Socom Elite. This is one of the first ones that was released, just the standard black and stonewash. This is the mini Socom 2003. So one of the first points is just aesthetics. And I know that this varies from person to person, but most people that I've talked to do prefer the old aesthetics 100% of the time. Like, first off, you see this wedge up here. It's not super prominent, but it's there. It still catches your eye. You see that there's a swedge, but it's more of a functional swedge. It kind of is just kind of there to serve its purpose. It's nothing too dramatic. And overall, it's just a very clean design. If you look at this side, you can see the grind lines better. And it's just super clean. You have this really nice straight line that brings, or that your edge comes from the primary bevel. You have this little swedge, you have the flat. It's just really well done aesthetically. And this one, they took out a huge swedge. They're trying to make this look super tactical, super deadly, super I'm gonna shank you look, Mall Ninja-like, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. You have a lot sharper angles here. They're just really going for the murdery death look, which I think this still has to some extent. This is still, on the older Socoms that were this size, that still looked like a tactical blade that could get some business done, but it looked nice too, and it looked like an EDC blade also, or it could work as an EDC blade. This still looks pretty aggressive, in my opinion, but it just looks a lot more refined than this one. This one just looks a lot more blocky and chunky. You have this wedge that serves no purpose whatsoever except aesthetics, because it doesn't even terminate near the edge. I mean, this one has a similar issue, but it's still kind of getting close to thinning that tip whenever you get down there. This one just kind of, you go back to full stock thickness right here, because you see the flat continues all the way, and this is full stock right here, continues even closer to tip. So this wedge just serves no purpose except to push this main bevel grind, or this flat, down, which is my next point. Is this blade is infinitely more functional than this one. So I'm going to prove this in a couple different ways. First off, I just want you to look at the ratios here. This is about 1/3 of the blade before it starts getting into the edge. You know, you take this chunk right here and you place it right here, and then you place another one, and it's maybe even like close to two, and like just under half the blade. There's a lot of wasted blade up here that could be terminating to an edge. So that may have been a little confusing. Hopefully y'all understand what I mean, but if you were to copy and paste this down the edge, you would maybe get 3 of these before you get to the edge. And that just means that the blade has to work, or the angle has to be a lot steeper. If you look at their angle of attack here, you'll see that up till this point, it's still full thickness, and then they have to really have a steep drop off to kind of get to that edge. Here, it's maybe about 1/5 or 1/6. You could copy and paste this 6 times down to the edge before you get there. And so that gives the main bevel a lot more time and a lot more room to get to that thin edge. And I know that these are different blade stocks, but you look here and you can see the angle of attack. Whoops. Sorry about that. You can see the angle of attack is a lot more gradual. Sorry, my camera's having trouble focusing. There we go. You can see it's a lot more gradual than the 2018. It has a lot more time to kind of lay back and to get there, which means that this is going to be a better slicer, because once you get past that edge when you're cutting, not only is it going to be thinner because it has more time to get to that thinner edge, and it's not going to be as obtuse and steep, but it also means once you start cutting, it's going to be a lot smoother transition. This one is going to be kind of like a wedge, kind of wedging things apart. And this one is actually going to be cutting because it's thin, because it has that time to get really, really acute instead of trying to terminate to that edge as quick as possible and being a wedge. And I mean, you can see that in just the differences here of the attack, the way they go about doing that. And I know, again, that there are different blade. These are 2 different blade thicknesses. This is 3 millimeters, which is another reason why they shouldn't do this. Whenever you're at that thick of a blade, you should try to get to that edge as quick as possible. Start really high up so your knife will actually cut. And Microtech didn't do that on the 2018 model. This is the same thickness that was on the 2012 model. And actually, that's one of my other points on functionality, is that the 2012 model was about 18 degrees per side, and this one is 20 plus. This one is crazy thick. This one is like a Hinder XM18, but I think I've even handled some XM18s 3.5 inches that are thinner than this. This is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, I mean, those are my real main complaints, is aesthetics and functionality. They compromised this as a cutting tool, you know, by trying to make it look cooler, which I don't even think it really does. It sure looks more tactical, but I mean, this is tactical enough, but this one seemed a lot more classic Microtech. And they just dropped the ball on this one, really. And don't even get me started on the Signature series. If you haven't seen that one, that's the DLC one with the claw. And I know that one of my buddies owns that, and he loves it, and great for him. But that is getting on serious wedgie territory, because it's pretty much a dagger grind. The flat portion goes right through that Microtech emblem, pretty much. And so you have half of this 3mm blade. It's at this thickness. It stays at this thickness until about this point in the blade. And so you have very little time to get to an edge. And that one, I'm going to refuse to sharpen any of those, because I don't even think I can get my Edge Pro to act and to sharpen something that's that steep. That's like a scissor. Anyway, I'm ranting pretty hard. This is still a great knife. There are some other features about this one that I'm not 100% a fan of compared to the old one. But that's the main one why I won't be buying one. If they go back and they do a limited edition, or if they release a 2019 model that goes back to the old blade shape, then I will be on board 100%. But the fact that they just completely ruined it, that this is now no longer the best tactical blade out there. I think that the old 2012 models were probably the best tactical blade for both shanking people and EDC. Just had great looks, sliced well, still thick, still tough. This one just, I feel like it's not Microtech anymore. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure I probably ruffled a lot of people's feathers. If I did, sorry, not sorry. You can still enjoy it. I don't blame you for loving it. But just keep in mind, that thing is not going to slice very well at all, especially compared to some previous Microtech offerings that are out there. And I will still be looking. Like I said, I got a mini Socom in kind of this Greenland camo. That I'm gonna hold on to that one, I'm pretty sure, because it's just so rare, and I really like this mini size for EDC. But if I were to trade it, it would be for 2012. But ideally, I want both of the old ones. I want a mini in this blade shape and a large in that blade shape. But I'm not going to be touching these new ones anymore. And it almost got me, the two-tone blade with the DLC on the main bevel and the DLC in the swedge with the satin flats. That almost got me. I almost bought that one, but you know, just handling this one again, pulling it out of my little Pelican case that I keep my customer knives in, and kind of checking it out. I'm like, no, I wouldn't be able to get over that blade. It wouldn't stick around. So yeah, like I said, hope you enjoy this video. Hope you check out the rest of my content. If you hate me, understandable. Just don't put in the comments on why you still think this is a great slicing blade, because you're wrong. All right, see you in the next one.